Hey everybody, welcome to this update. Really looking forward to showing you what we've got done this week. We're going to be off for about a month as I've got a wedding to go to in Montana. A great opportunity to do some rail fanning and go to a wedding. So anyway, this week what we do have for a treat is Jonathan is going to sit down with me. We're going to have a conversation with what we've done electronically and a lot of the plans we have here. And then also we've got some great updates. We've got some engine pull data that we're going to share with you. We're actually going to pull a video of it so you can get to see it. And so in any case, come on in. This is going to be a great update, and we'll see you inside. Well, everybody, here we are, and I've got Jonathan, my lead IT and engineer for all electronic devices and things. John is absolutely brilliant with these things when he reads instructions. And as such, we're going to kind of go through what we've been doing electronically and what we've learned. The layout is designed as this is our dispatcher desk. We have a CTC panel here, and we also are dealing with ABS blocking. Denver is CTC, everywhere else in the layout is ABS. And so we're mixing those two together, and that has caused us to use the Watchman block occupiers. And John and me have learned a lot. John has fixed it and finally figured it out. And so John's going to talk about what went on, but just to kind of give you a heads up, we've been using Tam Valley juicers, frog juicers, and the turnout controls are from Tam Valley's. And we use terminal blocks on the ends of our bus lines. And so, John, what have we learned with using terminal buses and all of this product?
Well, like Mike said, we're using the Watchman from Tam Valley, and
no, correction, RR circuits.
RR circuits. Sorry, we're using the RR circuits Watchman, and in our test and implementation of these devices, one of the first things that we found is that with the block detectors, while they have a good purpose in doing what they do, but they also generate current. So when you're trying to do any level of block detection in a district, whether it's on a down or an entire district block detection, it detects a train there because it's generating current. So it doesn't matter where you put your block detector in the environment, it says there's a train there. So we had to go through and remove those from the layout. And then the next thing that we found is with the frog juicers, because they have LEDs, they too generate current to say that there's a train in the area. But what we found with those is that if we were to put the block detector on a down in a specific area, it doesn't detect the current from the frog juicer, but only from the train, versus if we put the block detector on the entire district, it detects that there's current because of the frog juicer. So it's kind of one of those things where we could either pull in a whole separate line for our frog juicers and our servos and everything else, or just move our block detectors to each individual down versus the entire district. So that's what we decided to do, is we're putting the block detectors on the individual downs. We'll end up tying multiple block detectors in a certain district and then writing the logic into JMRI to say that there's a block in this entire district versus the other way.
Okay. So basically what that allows us to do then is as a train enters in, we'll get a signal on the CTC board that it is occupied, and whether it's 1 or 10 detectors in that area, we'll be able to detect that train as one signal light in our blocks.
Yeah, it's a little bit more work to have more block detectors for a district, writing the logic, but at the same time it's kind of a trade-off between pulling more wire and trying to keep that separate from everything else. And this way it allows us to be much more versatile in what we want to do long term.
Sounds good. Well, that led us to another conversation, because with CTC and ABS, we needed a way of communicating to one another.
I know, it's such a small room and we have a hard time communicating. But anyways, so you had a great idea that, what if we created some kind of switchboard phone system? So we had a conversation of trying to figure out how to go and not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but how to reinvent the wheel for a small little environment. And you had a an additional follow-on conversation with your oldest son that kind of gave you the answer, right?
It did, and we're going to talk about that later on, but it's really it's an old way to do a new thing.
Or a new way to do, or an old thing to do a new way?
I don't know, it works either way. But in any case, that's what we're going to talk about later on.
All right.
And then we also performed some tests on steam versus diesel polling. I'm a big fan of what Mike Confalone has done with loading 10 ounces into boxcars and cars. And so we here have been testing that, and we've got some really interesting results. We're going to show you what we came up with. And so basically I started off with 4 boxcars with 10 ounces, and I've now worked a few cars up to some of them even have 14 ounces in them. So we're going to show you a train pulling 6.5 pounds. A single locomotive pulling 6.5 pounds, John.
And I'll tell you, it won't be a diesel locomotive.
Don't share too much. So anyway, let's go on with this update and we'll show you what's going on. Okay, so here we are with our first steam locomotive, and the mystery of this whole thing is everyone tells me diesel locomotives can pull more than the steam locomotives by themselves. Well, I'm here to break that myth. On this train here, I have 103 ounces of lead. That's right. The cars and the lead are all 103 ounces. You can see back in here, and I've got in these box cars, I've got it set in here about 10 ounces each box car. These 3, 4, 5 gondolas have about 10 ounces as well. A little less in some of them because I didn't want to take them apart. But in any case, they've got full of lead, and I'm going to show you now that this diesel locomotive will not pull this up the hill. So here we go. And yes, folks, it's slipping. It's going nowhere. It's not even budging. It's saying, please, can we just get real? So now we're going to make a small pause as we swap out and put in my Broadway Limited 210-2. Okay, now here we are. Colorado Southern had 210-2s and 210-4s, and in our fleet here we have 6 210-2s to pull in October of 1959. So here we go. I'm going to show you what a 210-2 can pull. There it goes. 103 ounces of lead is now moving down the track. And we're going to meet it on top of the summit as we get out of here. So we'll see you at the summit. Okay, here's a 210-2 pulling through a curve up a 1.2% grade, and it's not even laboring. It's just going to roll right around the corner here. Here we are again, and this is a 554 rotary phone. These were designed in 1950 and were probably in use as late as 1983. Old dial-ups work fantastic, and they're simple to use. You can probably get these from eBay, well, not probably because that's what I'm doing, for about 40 bucks a piece. Certainly within the realm of most model railroaders. Now, whoops. The key to this, though, is that how do you make them work? Well, the phone system's not that complicated. You can simply attach 9 volts and connect them all together, and guess what? You've now got a party line. Now, if you get a little more investment into that, you can simply put a light on there or a buzzer that the person using the phone could hit the button, it would buzz into the dispatcher's desk, and the dispatcher could pick it up, and you're talking. That's all it is. but I wanted to make the rotary work. So I was talking to my son in the industry who works in big PBXs and enterprise solutions, and he gave me a couple different solutions. Well, his one solution was an analog system. Well, I looked online to see what those run, and they were about $400 to $500. Definitely more than I wanted to pay. But what I did find was I found this Digital Small Companies PBX. And the advantage to this is it has 8 analog ports. So, say you're modeling 1968 and you have touch-tone phones. Well, you know what? You can buy those on eBay, and if you plug those right into there, they'll work instantly. But again, I have a rotary phone, so I've got to go one step farther. And what I found is a device that I can plug in the phone line from the phone into the device, into this device, the PBX, and when you dial the rotary number, it interprets it and sends a tone to the PBX, and guess what? It dials and it works. And now I can sit at any of my stations, and if I want to get a track warrant to go onto the main, I can simply dial my dispatcher's desk, the phone will ring, and he's picking it up, and he can talk to one another. The additional thing is if the line is busy, you're going to get a busy signal. So anyway, that's my solution. Crazy idea. The solution to my problem is going to run me about $450, certainly within the realm of model railroaders. And that's just some ideas to come up with. So anyway, we're going to go around the corner here and show you what we've done in Denver. Okay, here we are in Denver, and as you can see, we've got the yard all being laid out, the passenger section here all set and ready to go. And if you've seen the blog in Model Railroad Hobbyist, you saw that this has caused a lot of grief for the last few days, and mainly because of the fact that when I had designed this, I failed to put in the passenger platforms. So that caused me a lot of problem, and then originally I had the passenger platforms, a track, passenger platform, track, passenger platform. And in this photograph I'm going to show you here, you're going to see in this photograph here that that's not what's going on. It is track, platform, then a service work area where they actually would load the baggage and all the goods into the train, and then another track, and then the platform, and then another track. And that here is what we're going to be doing at Union Station here. So as you can see, we've got that laid out exactly as you see right here. Union Station is all set. The platforms are going to extend from all the way down to here to all the way back here, so that they're longer in than the station was, as you saw in the photograph. The other thing in the yard here, this is our arrival and departure track, and these tracks will be code 83. But these 6 tracks here, I'll be hand laying, and they'll be built with fast tracks and branch line tie spacing, and we're going to do them in code 70, just as the ladder is done in code 70 as it's coming down here. And we're going to hand lay these. This will be fairly and relatively quick because it's all straight, which I really like. So anyway, that's what we've got going on in here in Denver. Thank you so much for watching the video. And if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to. And thank you very much, and happy modeling.